Hello, hello, everybody. How is everybody today? Welcome to Making Connections. This is Aly, and I hope y'all don't hear feedback, but we'll clear it up in just a minute. But this is your girl, Aly. You guys know we are here every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Saturday at 12. And today we have an exciting show. We have several guests, but they are social distancing. They are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And we have various representatives of the Hickory Fire and Police Departments. And we know with the holiday seasons coming up, there's a lot of things, we just take for granted, but we want to just come on today and, give you guys some safety tips and just some things to think about, as the season goes on, just being careful as you're going in and out of malls. When, Thanksgiving is just a couple weeks away when we start frying those turkeys and things like that. So you might remember this young man that you see before you, Brian Murray. He was with us last year. We did an interview with he and Terry, and they showed us around the fire station, and we just had a ball. So, Brian, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it because I love being with you guys because y'all always share some really cool stuff. And so I probably will show some of the videos from last year again, just to kind of remind people about the things that we saw last year, the fire truck and all that kind of stuff.
Thanks for having us back.
I don't get a hat this year, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
we'll get you one. We'll get you one.
So, Brian, go ahead and just introduce yourself and tell the people, our audience, a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Brian Murray. I work for the Hickory Fire Department. I'm Deputy Fire Chief, and I've been with the city for 29 years, and I am the event coordinator for the Bikes for Tykes program that the Hickory Fire Department does every year around Christmas for the needy children of Catawba County.
Awesome, awesome. So, tell us a little bit more about that. Last year, like I said, we took some videos of all the bikes and things. So, are all the bikes in now?
I have half of them are here and the other half are on the way.
Okay.
So everything is going well this year. We did switch things up a little bit as far as who we're getting our bikes from this year. It's a better deal for us and sort of helps us get our money to go a little bit further. But so far so good. The fundraising is going well. You never raise enough, but
Right.
we're doing well so far for the number of bikes that we're needing for the Christmas Bureau this year, which is scheduled for December the 14th and the 15th. We did have to switch things up because of all things COVID, just like you were talking about. This year will be a drive-through instead of at the American Legion Fairgrounds where people would come into the building to go through the Christmas Bureau. This year will be a drive-through at the Hickory Metro Center, but still meeting the need for the kids in the county. So 20 years for the Bikes for Tykes, raised over 225,000 approximately over those 20 years, giving away over 7,500 bikes. So we're doing good, staying strong with it.
Awesome. How many does it look like you're going to have this year?
So far, I ordered 600 bicycles. So we're in that 600 range this year. We got a few extras, but there's always a need for those extra bikes that we can always find someone that needs it. You may have a family that is taking in foster children that children are just placed after the Christmas Bureau has already happened, and they get some children placed with them. And they're starting to reach out. I know Lieutenant Hildebrand, I'm sure they face it with the police department as well, that after the event happens, there's always a reason. You may have a fire, family gets unfortunately burned out close to Christmas, and you try to rally up, the police department, fire department try to rally up and pull together and try to make something for those children at Christmas who are going through something that tragic.
Wow. So what makes you want to be involved with that program? We all have jobs and we all have stuff that we, are requirements, but what is your joy in doing this every year?
Well, it really, for me, like I said, this has been going on 20 years. This is my fourth year being directly involved as far as purchasing and fundraising. But everybody that works at the fire department is in some way involved in Bikes for Tykes every year because we got 600 bicycles coming in a box. We got to put them together. So the firemen are always getting together right after Thanksgiving, putting bicycles together all evening after the work day's done, trying to get these bikes ready. And I've always been part of that. And it was always, oh, this is neat, but then once the guy who was over it before me stepped down and I took over the program, I got to see the intricate part of it in the aspect of the fundraising and the logistics of ordering the bikes and trying to organize chaos and get it all pulled off. But being involved at the giveaway itself, where that single mom walks through and breaks down over a bicycle that you and I, or a lot of us, take for granted. Just it's a bike, right. It's a $50 bicycle. But when you see her know that that's one of the only presents that child's going to get that year because of our efforts and the efforts of people that are helping us either with bicycles or monetarily giving us money in the fundraising aspect to get it done. It's so heartwarming to see that, because then it's real when you see that mother get emotional over a bicycle that we take for granted. Even me putting them together and getting them over there at the location, I'm going, man, it's all these bikes everywhere. But one of those bikes changed that single mother's life, in the aspect of I was able to get this done for my child who may or may not have gotten anything else. Right. So that in and of itself, that one or two or 20 moms or dads that come through, and you can truly see how that bicycle affected their Christmas that year. That makes it easy to come back every year. Makes it Christmas, really. I mean, when you think about it.
And you're right. I mean, it's a lot of things that, again, we take for granted, or we just do it, and we have multiples of, and we forget that there's people who don't have any of that, Right. And so it definitely, I try to kind of get out there a little bit early and, advertise about the Christmas Bureau, taking applications. So, I pray that, people actually took advantage, and we don't want anybody to be ashamed, because everybody needs help every now and then, right?
Absolutely. I even brought whenever I took it over, I even brought my teenage son into the mix to help putting bikes together, to be there at the giveaway, because, it's something that he needs to see. He's never experienced that to his knowledge of any level of struggle between my wife and I at Christmas, because he's always woke up and it was Christmas. But he needs to see that as well. Right. That it's not necessarily what I'm getting for Christmas, it's what I'm getting. So
awesome. I love it. And, I want people to, we try to break down stigmas with the show, don't just judge. Well, I'm not buying somebody else's kid a bike, You don't know, like you said, why these people might need it. Maybe they have good jobs, but they just experienced a fire.
That's right.
And lost everything. Mm-hmm. Somebody just got sick, and it took all their savings. So it's not just people trying to get handouts.
Especially with the pandemic going on. I mean, there's a lot of people who, with all the shutdowns that were going on, and especially in the restaurant business and the bars and the places like that were not allowed to open. There's a lot of places that had to close their doors, unfortunately for them. But that was also their livelihood. So they may have been doing great this time last year, but now this year, they may very well be in need of the Christmas Bureau. I hope not, but statistics say otherwise.
Right. Absolutely. So I heard you say you're still fundraising. So what can we do if somebody's listening and they want to send me
not me personally. But
right, don't do that.
So we depend a lot on corporate sponsorship businesses, that type of thing. I have one neighborhood. They have a neighborhood association, and that's what they do. Is their neighborhood association gets together and they send me pretty much $1,000 every year just from the neighborhood, and it's each resident's given. Some residents may only give 20, some may give 50 or 100. But every year, just that one neighborhood association rallies together, and that's what they do as a neighborhood association and community for our program. Or it could just be one of our biggest sponsors for us is Hendrick Honda here in Hickory, and they usually give me anywhere from $6,000 to $7,000 a year. So at the end of the day, anything helps at the aspect of whether it's $100 or $50 or 6,000, doesn't matter. So if they would contact the Hickory Fire Department anybody that will get in contact, or anybody they get in contact with here, knows how to get them in contact with me. But I can give you that number. It's 828-323-7420. And that's our business line. And if you say you want to assist with the bikes for tykes, they can direct you right to me.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Brian, you stay close by, but we're going to move on over. We also have in the room Mr. Scott Hildebrand. Hey there, Scott. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I should say Officer Hildebrand. I'm sorry. I didn't mean so welcome to Making Connections. And just like Brian, just want to give you an opportunity to greet the audience and tell them a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in service.
All right. I have been at the Hickory Police Department for a little over 26 years now. I am currently over community services. I've been through a lot of areas of the department, but for the past 4.5 years, I've been over community services. That is one of the programs that my unit administers is the Cops for Tots program, which I'll be happy to talk about. And we are about, I'm kind of the equivalent to Terry about education, crime prevention and education, community outreach, and issues like that. Because I say if we can prevent a crime, then good. That means, number one, the police do not have to investigate it. Nobody has to be a victim, and it makes, you don't have a victim there. Nobody has lost anything.
So true, so true. So we will, if you want to talk about the Cops for Tots, Cops for Tots,
yes.
Cops for Tots, real quick, and then we'll move on to the other aspect.
So what everybody thinks about Cops for Tots is the Wish House every year, and it is much like the Christmas Bureau, and that we give parents the opportunity to basically shop for their kids, and the toys come from a lot of different sources. A lot of people donate toys. We get checks and money from different organizations, different clubs in Hickory, individuals, and we do the shopping. Again, this year of pandemic, it's going to be a little bit different. That we've got it set up. We have a technology person in the department. Basically, it's going to be online shopping this year, and just like Christmas Bureau is going to be a drive-through. You're going to have everything picked out ahead of time, and then when it comes time to pick up, then it's drive-through. The back lot near the police department, and we're going to deliver it to you in a shopping cart or whatever we can get a hold of. Mm-hmm. So it's the Wish House is what everybody thinks of. But I like talking about the history of Cops for Tots, which dates back to the early 80s. And it began with the department contacting the Department of Social Services and saying, hey, we know that there's a need in the community. Is there something that we can do to help that? As far as like Chief Murray talked about foster kids or situations like that. So the first year, which I've heard 1983, I'm not sure of that, but the early 80s, it was the department that basically sponsored a half dozen families. And it was information that came from the Department of Social Services, and the department provided for a half dozen families. Well, last year it was hundreds of families. It has grown over the years. And it was right about 1,000 kids that got served last year. So that was through the Wish House. But I say that we have turned into a well-known local charity that we get money from a lot of different sources, and depending on what the year is and the needs, we have sponsored children's sports clubs in Hickory. We sponsor back-to-school events. So anything that can kind of help out kids starting back to school or summertime sports, or what our main purpose was, the having something under the Christmas tree on December 25th. That's what we're behind.
Wow. I love it. I mean, because, a lot of people, even me back in the day, you think about police officers and firemen, and you like, okay, there's a fire. What do they do all day, when there's not a fire? What's happening? What do the police officers do all day? But, you guys really are in the community doing things. And as you're in the community, even on your shift, you're recognizing needs and things that are happening. Hey, we need a little attention in this area, because a lot of times people don't know and they just make judgment calls, but you guys really are aware of what's going on in your communities.
And that's what we try to practice, is community policing, which is the police not just riding around in patrol cars, but actually getting to know the needs of the community. It's about problem solving, about knowing what the issues are that needs to be addressed. And thinking about the history of the Cops for Tots program, we went to DSS and said, hey, we know that this issue exists, how can we help out? And it has just grown from there. So yeah, we do try to know what is going on in the community, and we see those issues with maybe families. There is some need, and just like I say, I think every little kid, when they go back to school in the fall, they deserve a brand new pair of blue jeans and a couple shirts. We have helped out. Cops for Tots has helped out with that before. And at Christmas time, you don't want anybody to wake up on Christmas morning and feel like they've been left out. That's how it all began. Summertime, when there's the potential for some bad things happening, if kids are not turned in the right direction, we have sponsored those sports programs before. So yes, knowing that there's the potential for somebody to be left behind or for some kind of problems to take place, we try to help deal with that, because those could grow into big problems in the future that we don't want to have to deal with in some other capacity in the future.
Awesome. And I like what you said earlier about, if we can prevent a crime, if we can prevent something from happening, that's the way we do it. Just like with medicine and with our bodies, if we take preventive care, take care of our bodies, do what we need to do, then it goes a long way. And so with that, and segue into like the holidays and things like that, what is some advice you can give to our listeners?
So the hustle and bustle of the holidays are when criminals can respond, because they know that the hectic times, people are not necessarily paying attention as well as they should, related to their own safety, their property, safety of their property. So that's what criminals will often try to take advantage of. I think one of the biggest things that people need to concern themselves with is, on a personal level, I don't advertise a lot of stuff about myself. By that, I mean, we advertise, think about how we do it. On social media, we let people know what our daily activities are a lot of times. And that is, oh yeah, my sister and I are going out shopping for the day. Oh, we're going to be gone all day long, so that can make our house vulnerable. We advertise by, oh, I got my wife a brand new, whatever big expensive pearl necklace. Hey, I'll advertise that with my in-laws and friends and family, but I'm not going to advertise it with the general public to know that, oh, there's a potential target here. We advertise by the boxes. December 26th is when all the trash goes out to the curb and people can just drive by and see at the end of the driveway what is going on there. Oh, there's a brand new $5,000 laptop computer that is in that home, or things like that. I'm not going to advertise at the end of the driveway like that. Or when we are out shopping at the mall, whatever store it is, and people are going from one store to the next, and what do? They throw the bags in the back seat, and well, people walk by and they can see exactly what store we have been to. We can sometimes see inside the bags, and it's advertising, and it's making it simple for criminals to, they take a look around. If they think they can get away with it, they're going to smash that window and they're going to grab some things out, and they're going to be gone in all of about 3 seconds. And then we're going to be, whoever has purchased those items, you're going to be out a window and have broken glass in your car, and everything that's in the back seat is going to be gone. So think about not advertising what we're doing and making it easier for criminals.
And like you said, I mean, if you think about it, it just takes 5 more seconds. Open up that trunk, put it in the trunk. I know a lot of women, and I've done it before myself, will leave my purse in the car because I'm just running into the convenience store. Or I'm just running for gas or whatever.
And if you are planning on traveling, then yes, plan ahead. If you're going from store to store to store, you think about, all right, what am I going to do as far as the efficiency? But think about it ahead of time. If I don't want to carry a purse, I don't carry a purse. But ladies that do not want to carry a purse, then yes, put it in the trunk. Not only just put it in the trunk, but put it there before you get to the store, so that nobody sees that you're popping the trunk and putting your purse in the trunk. Don't advertise and telegraph to people, oh yes, I'm putting my purse with all the contents in the trunk of my car. And again, some criminal is going to make that decision. Well, it may take me 5 seconds to smash a window, hit the trunk release. So yes, plan ahead. If you don't want to carry your purse, put it in the trunk of the car ahead of time. Just carry a wallet or a card with you, whatever. When you get back out from the store, put the packages in the trunk or an SUV, cover it up somehow so that you're not advertising, so that people can see what's going on. You're walking through a store. Yes, I see it all the time. And my another person that is in my unit, as far as the crime prevention part of it, we talk about it. we see things all the time. She sees ladies leave their purse just sitting there in the shopping cart. Turn your back. 3 seconds is all it's going to take for that purse to be gone. So I tell people, if it is something of value, treat it like it is valuable. And that is your credit cards, your cell phone, your personal information, all the contents of your purse, even if it goes out the window after somebody has stolen it, photographs in there, anything that you consider, oh, this is personal stuff that I want to keep up with it. Talking about advertising or not advertising when we leave home, what I call it is a tale, and that is it's actually a term from cards. When somebody gets that good hand, they have that appearance on their face of, oh, they got a good hand. Well, we too oftentimes when we leave the house, we do that also. And, you know, I can kind of figure out from my neighbors, we are creatures of habit. All right, when that particular light is on outside the garage door, they're gone for the evening. So don't advertise and don't leave a tail at the house. So, all right, the car's moved over, so they're outside of that side of the garage. So we need to stop advertising and making it easier for criminals.
Wow, that's a lot of good stuff there. You know, like you said, things you don't think about because we do things out of habit. And yeah, when you know you're coming home late from the kids' game or something like that, you leave the lights on so you can see when you come in. But you know, you might want to consider getting motion lights so that it only comes on
Absolutely,
when someone is there. So.
And lighting is the #1 deterrent to nighttime crime and disorder. And I'm a fan of motion lights because people can kind of figure out of, all right, is that a motion light when I get to a certain distance from the house? Is it going to come on? But it's still going to get somebody's attention. Not only is it going to get the attention of the person that may be walking up in your driveway, but it could also get the attention of your neighbor next to you, or it could get the attention of a police car that just happens to be driving by. And, you know, I know all of my neighbors, they know me, and we know kind of one another's activities. I say nobody likes a nosy neighbor, but I do like observant neighbors.
That part, right. That is so true. Because like you said, you know, if your neighbor does know that you go to church every Wednesday night and you usually come in at this time, when they see those lights come on or they hear some noise, they're like, oh, wait, that's not them because I know they're at church, you know. At least they're going to try to get in touch with you, find out, is that you or not? And then go from there. So very good. Very good.
Yes, the observant neighbors are the ones we like.
Oh, well, we're going to move on, and thank you so much, Officer Hildebrand. That was such good advice and information. And we're going to bring Terry on. But if somebody wanted to get more information about the police officers and what they do in the community or how they can help with you guys, how could they reach out to you?
It is Cops for Tots program. The main number at the police department is, the administrative number is 324-2060. You tell them you want to talk to somebody about Cops for Tots, it will most likely come to my phone. So Cops for Tots is the program. Hopefully a lot of people in Hickory know that name, and they can just dial the police department and ask about that. And yes, somebody will speak to them about that.
All right.
Whether it's somebody in need or whether it's somebody that wants to help.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hi, Terry, my friend. How are you?
Hey, Miss Aly. I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I'm good.
Thank you for our time with you.
Yes, Terry and I'll be emailing and stuff and keeping up because I think, you know, really, we don't really know what's going on in our communities a lot of times. We don't know the resources that we have. We don't know, you know, maybe the proper way of distinguishing a fire or something like that. And you guys have all kinds of education classes that can help people along the way, right?
We do. COVID has kind of changed our ways of doing it a little bit. But yes, we try to find ways to reach out to the public to make sure that they are safe in their residence, wherever they may live, apartments, houses, or whatever. And so definitely they can contact us for that. And that's something I kind of wanted to talk about today as far as it goes, because you were talking about getting ready for the holidays. And part of getting ready for the holidays would be decorating. Have you already started your decorations, Miss Aly? Okay, you're good. All right. However, I know folks that have already started.
Oh, yeah.
A couple things that I want you to, before you do start, to kind of look around your place and make sure of. Decide if you're going to have a live tree or artificial. Whichever one, that's fine. But when you go to pick out that tree, if it's a live tree, you want to make sure that you're not getting one that's been cut like 14 months ago. You want to make sure that it's going to be live, literally, and that it's not dried out already. And then when you get home, you want to make sure that the lights that you put on it are the appropriate kind. I know there are, used to be years ago, they would put actually candles on a Christmas tree, and that's not ideal. So we definitely want to talk about, don't do that. And I'm sure no one's going to do that at this point. But if you take those lights that you've got and you don't check them, they could have some fraying or some broken wires. And that's pretty much like putting a candle on your tree. So you want to make sure that you check those lights to make sure they're going to be appropriate. The other thing, too, as far as it goes, when you're not there, turn those lights off. Anything can happen whenever you're not there, or whether you're there or not, but at least if you're there, you can pay attention and maybe deal with it. So definitely go ahead and take care of doing that. Unplug things when you're not there. Also, if you're going to decorate outdoors, make sure the lights that you purchase are allowed to be outdoors. Sometimes there's a difference between them, and they'll just say indoor or they'll maybe outdoor. So make sure that you're putting the right ones in the right places. And then, of course, drop cords. Lots and lots of drop cords are not a good thing. So if you can avoid drop cords, that's better. If you're going to use a drop cord, please do not buy the cheapest one. The thinnest one, you want to go for a really solid drop cord that's going to carry that more groundage better, and that makes sure it kind of keeps anybody from getting hurt. And of course, if it's broken or wired or something like that, take it out of service. It's not worth burning your house down just to have lights showing for an hour or so. Right. So that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was going to say, and those drop cords where you see the wire, no, don't use those. And
Get
especially if you're lighting a tree the whole day, I mean, that just gets hot, and it's just not worth it. It's better to go, like you said, spend that $5, get a new drop cord, get a power strip or something that's, just safer, because you got to live after Christmas, right?
That's right. It's one day, and that house took a long time to build or to get in and make it yours, and you definitely want to keep it protected and make it safe. So that's definitely something. Another thing, too, if people are looking for ideas for people for Christmas and how you show them the best way that you love them, is to take care of them. And one way that you can take care of them is to make sure that they have smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, anything like that. Those are all wonderful ideas for Christmas gifts if you're looking for somebody for that, for sure. Another thing, too, as far as decorations go, candles. Candles are beautiful. I mean, I love the scents and all that kind of thing. But as the firefighter side of us, that kind of makes me cringe. And the reason for that is sometimes people forget to extinguish them. So I know in some cases, like my mom, she would get busy. And so we got her the ones that burn, that look like they're real, but they're not. It's a lot safer. So that's one option. If you're going to use candles, then make sure that you've got someone that's actually watching them and taking care of them. And so that's one big thing. And extinguish it when you're leaving the room as well, too. And then, of course, you were talking about the deep frying of the turkey and the cooking and all that, which is my favorite part of the season. We get to eat something good. A couple things. First and foremost, cooking is our biggest cause of fires. Now, I'm going to say that again because it warrants that much information. Cooking is our biggest cause of fire. And a lot of it, it's not just one time of the year. It's throughout the whole year. But especially on Thanksgiving Day, that's a big cause right there. Wow. The biggest thing to keep in mind with cooking is to stay with your food. I know that sounds silly, and who doesn't do that? But more than once, someone's left to go down the road to pick up something and come back, and we're there at their house. That's not good for them at all. And we don't like to see that when that happens, because we know that could be prevented. So if you're cooking, stay with your food. If you're going to deep fry that turkey, then get out the instructions. Yeah, we don't like instructions, I know, but that's the time you definitely need to make sure that you're following those directions. Don't let the turkey be wet and put it in the oil, because you're only going to make a really bad day for yourself and anybody else around you. So you just make sure that you follow those instructions as far as that goes. But the biggest thing is stay with your food, or stand by your pan, whatever you want to call it. You want to stay with your food for sure, because you want to make sure if it's cooking, you're with it as well. And then, of course, if something does happen and it flares up, Oil and water, like I said, don't mix, especially that's why that turkey is very important that you're going to deep fry it in oil. You don't want to put water on it. So one thing we recommend is to take the lid of your pan and put a lid over it. What you're doing is you're taking away the oxygen from the fire, and you have a better chance of putting it out. But you don't want to get up and run with it or try to go to something. Another option that you can do, of course, if you have a fire extinguisher, but if you have a fire extinguisher, can you find it fast enough? That's one of the keys right there. You can also use salt, okay? That would work to help put out the fire, baking soda, that kind of thing. But a lot of times people don't have those really quickly. So sometimes that's why a lid is better to put on it. And you can take away the oxygen that way and then turn it off if possible.
Amazing. And while you're doing that, have somebody call 911.
Oh, thank you. That's probably the second most important part besides getting yourself out is definitely go ahead and get somebody to call 911, get them to come and check. Even if you think the fire's out, let them come and check and make sure. More than once, it might be up in the hood system or something like that and you not realize it. So definitely go ahead and call 911 because even though our folks are fast, it still feels like hours when you call 911 before somebody gets there to help you out. It's not, but it feels that way just because you have an emergency and you want some help immediately. So give us the advantage of going ahead and getting on the way to help you out.
Awesome. Thank you. That's good information because like you said, now we are bad about, we're just going to run to the store and get one thing. And then we're like, oh, but I need this. Oh, well, it would be nice to make this. And before you know it, you're gone 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And this has happened.
Right.
And if you have animals in the house and things like that, they could turn things over. It's just so much that could happen. And you have to think about those things, not just think about what you see right here, but think about what could happen. And we don't want to risk that. So just turn it off and turn it back on when you get back.
That's exactly right. Stand by your pan. That's for sure.
I like that. I'm put that. I'm
you can sing the song "Stand by Your Man" and your pan, but
Terry said, "Stand by your pan."
At least the fire part of me wants you to do that.
Well, again, even like Alan, our engineer, was saying, when you guys first came on the scene, we thank each and every one of you for your service. We thank you for this information. We thank you for what you're doing in the community because, again, what I hope people are hearing is that you're not just sitting there waiting on the next call. You are there for that and you are available when that happens, but you're also seeking out the community to see how can we make our community better? How can we make our family safer? Because, again, Christmas is just one season. You don't want to burn your house down with those faulty wires with that turkey, and then your family doesn't have anywhere to live, or even lose somebody's life, So we just have to remember what's really important.
That's right. Take a few minutes, and if you look at it and you go, "Oh, that's not safe," you know what's safe and what's not. Take it out of service. Get it fixed. Find another way to do it, a safer way. Most definitely. We want you to be safe.
And I like, too, what you were saying about, when you're thinking about your family and stuff, hey, let's make a list this year. Ask our family, our friends, our coworkers, are the smoke detectors working in your house? When's the last time you checked your smoke detectors? Do you have a fire extinguisher? Do you know where it is? Things like that are so important. Again, we take our fire extinguishers, not fire extinguishers, but our smoke detectors for granted. We don't test them like we're supposed to. Then here's a fire and you're like, well, I didn't even get the notice to be able to get my family out and to be safe. So
it's your nose when you're asleep. And it does its job if you help it do its job. And there are smoke alarms that are out there now that have a 10-year battery. They call it long life. And so you don't have to change batteries. And they're less than $30 if you find them on sale. And that's amazing. Of course, carbon monoxide alarms are another one that's out there. If you have any type of gas heat appliances or anything like that, propane, a fireplace, you definitely need to have a carbon monoxide alarm too, because that's something you can't see or smell. and you don't know that it's causing problems to you unless you have that carbon monoxide alarm. So all those are wonderful ways to give somebody a hug when you can't hug them right now.
Truly, truly. Well, thank you all so much. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I just want for each one of you to come back on. We'll start with Brian again. And Terry, you know what? I didn't even give you opportunity to tell people a little bit about yourself. How long have you been serving the Hickory Fire Department?
Ooh, that's a long time. Let's say over 31 years. I was born here. Not really, but I've been with the city around 31 years. So not bad.
And you were actually a firefighter, right?
Right. I did firefighting as a volunteer firefighter, and then also educator. That's my job here. And so I got to kind of combine both of the worlds and find ways that we can prevent fires. So I've been doing this a while. It's a lot of fun. I have great coworkers, but that's one of the fun parts about the job.
I know that Brian, he's a big cut up.
We're over there patting their backs right now. Yeah. And
I
smiling.
know they are. So we're going to take just a quick break. It's about 60 seconds, and then we're going to come back. And again, we'll start with Brian and kind of go the same way. And just, Brian, just give the people one last word of encouragement or a last word of advice. And again, just entreat people to help with the fundraising. So we'll be right back, okay?
Thank you for being such a wonderful listening audience, whether you were listening live or on the replay. And don't forget to like our Facebook page, Making Connections with Aly and Shay, so that you can get notified every time we go live. Do you have a burning message to share with the audience? Contact Aly Johnson at info@AlyJohnson.com. That's info@AlyJohnson.com with your topic idea and your message to be booked on the show. And if you're an inspirational speaker or motivator or simply seeking a platform to share your message, contact Miss Aly Johnson at info@AlyJohnson.com. That's info@AlyJohnson.com to be considered for 30 to 60 minutes of weekly airtime right here network. Again, contact Aly Johnson at info@AlyJohnson.com. That's info@AlyJohnson.com to be considered for 30 to 60 minutes of weekly airtime, your own radio show right here on the Making Connections Network.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Making Connections. And I hope you have really gotten something out of this interview today. And, if there was questions that were on your mind, maybe we didn't answer today, but you'd like for one of these young men or a young lady to come back on and answer those for you, trust me, they're always willing because like Officer Hildebrand said, if we can prevent things, from happening, then that's what we want to do. So there's no victims and there's no loss. And so, if you want to see these guys back again, let us know. But Chief Murray, I'm trying to use everybody's title, Chief Brian Murray of the Hickory Fire Department. Again, thank you for your service. Truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate your heart to share what's going on in the community and what the firefighters are doing. So give them my appreciation as well.
Absolutely will.
And so before we leave, if you want to just give one last word of advice or piece of information maybe that you want the audience to know.
If anyone is interested in assisting with the Bikes for Tykes, that number was 828-323-7420. That's the main business line. Tell them you want to help with the bikes and they'll get you in contact with me or someone right then that can help you. But whether it's the bikes with the Hickory Fire Department, whether it's the toys with the police department, you can't go wrong helping somebody else. You can never go wrong by doing the right thing by helping someone. And with the times the way they are with COVID and the pandemic, that just makes what's normal bad times for people even worse. So people are stuck at home more than they'd like. They're not able to go to the places they would like, and people are frustrated, discouraged, all the things. And we get that. I know Lieutenant Hildebrand and the people, the police department, they get that. But here's the opportunity. It's the giving season, and we need to try to remember that, rally around it, and support people that you may know, or agencies that you may know, or people like the police department and the fire department who may be participating in agencies that you may not know. But if you can assist something, help someone at this time of year, you can't go wrong helping somebody.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Chief Murray. I truly appreciate it. And you're right, because there's so many that are homeless and so much stuff. And during this season, there's a lot of places where we can put our hands and help somebody along the way.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. And
Great talking to you.
Huh?
It was great talking to you again.
You too. I'm gonna come by and visit.
Awesome.
Lieutenant Hildebrand,
Yes.
just the same thing, a last word of encouragement, a reminder how people can reach out to you. And even like he was just saying, during this time, people are going through a lot of things, whether it's mental stress, domestic violence, things like that. But you guys are there for help.
Right. We're a phone call away. And I'll give you two numbers for any kind of issues. If it is a police matter that you need help quickly, 828-328-5551 goes directly to our communications center. Somebody will talk to you and help out as far as needing to send an officer somewhere, or maybe even answering some questions there. Our administrative number is 828-324-2060. That's for if you have some kind of concern that doesn't need an immediate response from the police. We can answer a whole lot of questions that way. I don't want to end on any kind of negative note. I just want to say about thinking about the season as far as trying to prevent bad things from happening. I say lock your car and pocket the keys, because some numbers, 40% of all stolen cars, the keys are in them. And 80% of cars that are broken into, they're unlocked. So let's not make it too easy for the criminals. Let's make it a little bit harder for them and not have a headache by the first of the year when we're trying to deal with being the victim of crime.
So true. Well, thank you again, Lieutenant. I appreciate your service. Thank you so much. And again, share with your office the appreciation of making connections, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Aly, I'm back. And I have with me Lucas.
Hey.
Oh, is this the song and dance man?
This is our song and dance guy. Yes, and as you see, he's turning red right now like an ornament.
You got me confused with someone else.
He's also our lighting guy and our IT guy, so he's behind our scenes, and we appreciate him helping out with us too. So we wanted to give him his 10 minutes of fame right here. So he'll be singing and dancing and doing opera songs for you later, okay? No. He says much later. No, I just want to say, everybody, have a wonderful, safe holiday, and I think the key word is safe. And just always remember to smile. You never know when somebody's going to need that smile that you may be giving them a good day. So thank you so much for having us. What do you want to say?
I just thank you again. Just like everything Terry said, thank you. We're so happy to do this and glad to be able to reach some people out there and reach some folks in our community just to share some things.
Absolutely. And seriously, you guys, whenever you have stuff going on, please share it. Let me know, and I'll be glad to get the word out, because we're all working this together. We're all family. We all have friends that we want to keep safe. So let's do it together, right?
Love it. Love it.
All right. Well, thank you again. Thank you for your service, Lucas and Terry. So you guys, this is your girl, Aly, Making Connections. We are here with you every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Saturday at 12. And, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And we also, Making Connections is sponsoring a giveaway. Two of our guests that are coming on in December are doing a Winter Wonderland online concert. And so there are several things you have to do. You have to, it's on the page, but you can follow the social media pages for Making Connections. Either download the CD for Nakia or the book for Radia, and let us know you've done that. and you will be entered into a contest, and there's going to be two winners, and each winner is going to win 2 free tickets to the online concert. So if you didn't get all the information, go to the page, it's all there. And so make sure you share, because we're giving away to two winners, and the winners will be announced on December 14th on the show, and the concert is December 19th. So again, this is your girl Aly, and we appreciate you guys listening. We appreciate your support for us, and contact your local fire department, contact your local police department, see what's going on, see how you can help, see what your organization can do to collaborate and just make things better for the community. Because I know if you're a community leader, you're already out there anyway. So just make sure you're staying in touch with the people that are out there and know what's going on. So again, this is Aly, and until next time, as always, we leave you with love, positivity, and good vibes. Bye, everybody. Thank you.